Hello, my name is Nell and I have things to say. I have something pretty exciting to talk about today. In my previous video, I mentioned how I'm not going to be quiet about when things go wrong with disability care, but I also won't be quiet about when things go right. And something is going right and it'll be coming right my way next week, all going to plan. I am getting a new wheelchair. I can't even express how excited I am for this. The wheelchair I have now, I've been in it for about 4 years. And back then, when I got this wheelchair, I wasn't on the NDIS. So I was going through different funding and they didn't have the same resources as the NDIS has and as a lot of the places have now. So my OT and the supplier did their absolute best, but it was more like I got the most suitable thing for me out of a limited amount of choices. So the back of my wheelchair isn't shaped with any lumbar support, which isn't ideal because I have scoliosis. The arms of my wheelchair aren't really the right height or anything like that. It doesn't have full movability features, and there's just a whole lot of like little things that just didn't work, but they were the best that we could get at the time, and they were better than what I had previously. And it's been going okay. I've been living with it. It's great, but it's been going downhill. It's getting old. It's getting tired. Bits are falling apart. We've had issues with batteries. We've had issues with the motor. The armrests are kind of falling to pieces. My cushion is worn so low that I'm basically sitting on this much foam and then metal. We are getting a replacement cushion for this, but it's been tough. I'm pretty uncomfortable. And it means that I get a whole lot of back pain whenever I'm using the wheelchair out and about, you know, not just inside. It's rough. It's rough. It's like if you've had to walk all day with a rock in your shoe, then you'll get a glimpse of how bad it is to sit on a wheelchair that isn't ideal for you. It just makes a hard situation even harder. But this new wheelchair, I was assessed for it early this year. After a lot of, you know, touch and go of trying assessments, we finally got an assessment done. My OT was there. She deals a lot in equipment. She's really good. And then 2 suppliers, the one who does sort of like the seat cushion side of things and the other guy who did more of the body of the wheelchair. So they really worked hard. We were there for about 3 or 4 hours trying to figure out the right thing for me. They brought a bunch of samples up. I was trying different things, and we seem to put together the things that I need. I'm just excited thinking about it. So the cushion is this air pressure reliever cushion kind of thing. And so when I sit on it, it's going to kind of, it's going to support my butt in a way that kind of makes up for wherever I'm leaning. It will make sure that the air pressure goes to where it needs to, which when you're on your butt all the time, if you get any wounds, if you get any sores, if you get anything like that, your main enemy is pressure. You need to get the pressure off. And if you're sitting constantly, it's really hard to get the pressure off. So that's going to be great. It's got, well, one great thing is that its little bags at the side will actually fit a smartphone, whereas my ones don't. They can fit my keys and that's about it. It has more features. My current chair has a tilt where basically, here's my chair, it can go like that, but the new chair will be able to go just the back recline or the feet lift up, which is going to be really great because sometimes when I'm out and my feet are right down, I need them to be elevated because I have very poor circulation, and elevating your feet is one of the best things you can do for your circulation. So this means that if I go out for the day, if I'm watching a movie, if I go to the movies, I'll be able to put my feet up, my back, and I'll actually be able to rest my body. It also means that when I go to the dentist, I won't have to get out of my chair. They can just do it in my chair, which is going to be great. Has an elevation feature, which my current wheelchair has, which is really, really good. It also has some other features. It had a lot more features on the actual joystick, like the controller, where I can just change certain settings of the wheelchair really easily without having to do anything manually by moving any of the mechanics, which is excellent because then I can do a lot of it myself. It's going to have an attendant controller on the back, I'm pretty sure, so that if somebody else has to drive me into position, if I'm, you know, incapacitated, or if somebody has to move my wheelchair, they can do that really easily. One of the most exciting things for me is that I'm getting a cup holder. It sounds so weird, but I've been wanting a cup holder ever since I got in a wheelchair, and I've been in wheelchairs for 8 years. So you know how like when you buy a drink and then you go, well, I have this drink in my hand and I'd like to go over there. You can probably just leave that drink in your hand and walk over there. No problems, no issues. For me, it's not so easy because my right hand is my strong hand and it's my driving hand. My left hand is my weak hand and it has spasms. And if I carry something in that hand and I'm trying to drive, it's not going to end well. It's not going to be good. So I've been wanting a cup holder for so long, and my current wheelchair, we can't really get any extra fittings on there. This one, cup holder baby, cup holder. I'm also getting a table attached to it, which will stand up so that if I wanted to read or have a laptop or something on there, I can do that. But also just a table in front of me is going to be excellent because sometimes I'll go to cafes, and because my wheelchair is sort of more like a bit higher than a regular seat, it means the tables are very low, and it means that if I'm going to eat from it, I have to lean forward, and that's really not good for my back. So having my own table means that I'll be able to go to a restaurant and have my meal on my own table that is the right height for me, and I won't be straining, and I'm not going to drop food on myself, which is really embarrassing. So that's going to be really excellent. It also has the functionality for other things to be added on. So it'll have these runners underneath the arms where if I want to get extra features, I can sort of swap things in and out by putting them on these runners. So it's going to be really flexible and, you know, modifiable, so that in the future, if I find more features that I need, I can pop those in and not need to replace huge parts of my wheelchair. It's also just going to be more comfortable. Like the back support that they have from me actually fills in that bend in my spine from my scoliosis. The neck, like this headrest doesn't really do much. The other headrest is going to really cup underneath my skull because I have kyphosis, which is the curvature of the spine up here, and it means that I sit kind of like that and I don't have a lot of neck strength. So that's going to be so good. It's just going to make things so much easier, and I can't really express how exciting that is. Like, life is really hard. Being disabled is really, really, really bloody hard. Your body is fighting against you every day. It's like I wake up and my body says, yeah, I don't want to do this. It's like, well, sorry, baby, but we're living today. We woke up today, so you're going to have to work with me somehow. So my body kind of obeys me begrudgingly, but doesn't really, you know, cooperate too much. My body is full of pain. I'm full of pain all the time, and a bad wheelchair just makes that so much worse. So the thought of being in a wheelchair that matches my body, that fills in the gaps that my body has, where I can't really hold my spine up very well, this wheelchair is going to help that. I can't take pressure off my butt, this wheelchair is going to help that. I can't just lift my legs up and get good circulation, this wheelchair is going to help that. I can't carry a bottle of Coke when I'm going around, and this wheelchair is going to do that. It is so exciting to have something that is going to help me in a massive way and in every small way imaginable. One downside to the new wheelchair is that it isn't going to fit in our current wheelchair vehicle. Because of the features that I need, especially the ones where it's like tilting and reclining and elevation, it's not going to fit in our vehicle, and basically any wheelchair that I get from now on isn't going to fit in there. So for the time being, anytime I want to leave the house, I will still have to use my old wheelchair, which is why we've got new tires for this one. We're replacing the cushion, so it's going to be like, you know, doable for now. But then we have to look at our options for getting a new vehicle. The NDIS won't provide me with a vehicle, but they will modify a vehicle. So we've got to find out our fundraising options and you know, look at donations or something like that, or community fundraising where we can buy a vehicle that meets the NDIS's standards of, you know, the Ks that it's done and how old it is. and then have it be assessed and modified to get me in there. And my ultimate dream would be a vehicle where I could drive up the back and then drive into the front passenger side, because I'm sort of sit in the back of our car and I kind of feel like a suitcase. Just sitting there, if a conversation happens, I can't really hear without leaning forward and straining. I can't really open windows. I can't just look out the window easily because my chair is so high that like I just see pavement. It's hard. Like I don't really feel human in that chair, in that car. And in the future I would really love it so that I could just say, you know what, I want to go for a drive. So I can go into this car and I can sit up the front and I can just look out the window. I can roll my window down. I can just get some fresh air. I can look at the view. I can talk to the person next to me like a human being. So that's the next stage. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but God's brought me this far, so I trust that he's gonna figure something else out even if I can't. But the wheelchair is happening and its expected delivery is next Wednesday, and I'm so excited. And once I get it, I really want to do another video and show it all off. Wheelchair tour. I also want to learn about my new chair, because recently I was out and I spoke to this lady. She was asking me questions about my wheelchair, about is it mid-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, about the weight of it, about all sort of things. And it turned out that she has a son who's 8 and he's in a wheelchair, and as he's getting bigger they're trying to look at what their options are for, you know, helping an active kid have his wheelchair support him. And I was able to give her some information, but I thought with this new wheelchair I want to learn it. I want to learn it inside out and backwards and forwards. I want to be able to give feedback to people who go, hey, your wheelchair looks pretty impressive. What is it? What is that feature called? What is that feature called? What does that do? What does that do? I really want to be able to be out there and have people ask me and have the knowledge to know that I can say, well, for me, because I do this particular feature is really, really helpful for that. I really want to have that so that I can help other people, because wheelchairs are really confusing and there are so many options and it can get just so overwhelming. So that's really what I want to do. So yeah, so next week I'm gonna have a video of me showing off my cup holder. I want to get a really long straw so that I can kind of just put a straw in the drink and then have it go to my mouth, and so I don't even have to lift the drink out. That would really be great. And I just want to like drive around the shopping center just eating a meal off my table. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Next I just want to put a stereo system in there somehow. So next week hopefully I can film something showing off this new wheelchair. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to just be able to exist with a little bit less pain and a little bit less discomfort and a little bit more independence. And I'm so thankful that the NDIS is giving me the resources to do this, because I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. This thing is going to cost tens of thousands of dollars. This is not something I could do on my own. It's not something that a lot of independent little organizations could do. But even though there've been a whole lot of paperwork hoops to jump through and a whole lot of red tape to get this far, we have got this far, and the NDIS is providing me with a wheelchair that meets my needs. And I am incredibly grateful and thankful for that. And I'm thankful for the people who I've worked with, my OT and the providers and the suppliers of the actual wheelchair equipment. There are times when the system works, and when it works really well. And I am a happy camper. So that's all for today. I'm gonna see you next time. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm just gonna just spin around on my wheelchair. It's gonna be great. All right. Bless. Bye. I asked my worker to, my support worker, to choose my makeup colors for today. And kind of went 80s really fast. She realized that she was probably, you know, going back to the sort of things she would have put on her face back when she wore makeup, which was the 80s. But the bow tie was my choice. This is all me. This is all something. It's something 80s. Kind of digging it though. All right, bye.